1977 stands as science fiction cinema's most revolutionary year, producing both genre-defining masterpieces and forgotten gems that pushed boundaries. From galaxy-spanning epics to intimate creature features, this single year reshaped sci-fi forever. 10. End of the World, 1977. This low-budget apocalyptic thriller, made for just $500,000, found Christopher Lee in one of his more unusual roles as an alien, disguised as a Catholic priest plotting Earth's destruction. Director John Hayes crafted a paranoid science fiction story that combined religious imagery with extraterrestrial invasion themes during the height of 1970s conspiracy cinema. Lee plays Father Purgado, who leads a group of aliens masquerading as clergy while secretly preparing to trigger global catastrophe. The film's premise reflects post-Watergate paranoia about institutional corruption, suggesting that even religious authority figures might be working against humanity's interests. Despite Lee's commanding presence and the film's ambitious themes about faith and deception, End of the World received only limited drive-in and grindhouse distribution. The modest budget showed in the special effects and production values, but Hayes managed to create an atmosphere of mounting dread through Lee's intense performance. The film's exploration of aliens hiding within trusted institutions predated similar themes in later science fiction, while its religious imagery anticipated the spiritual elements that would become prominent in genre cinema. Though largely forgotten today, End of the World represents the kind of creative risk-taking that made 1977's sci-fi landscape so diverse and unpredictable. 9. Shockwaves, 1977. Ken Wiederhorn's unique horror sci-fi hybrid, made for $200,000 but earning $1.2 million, combined Nazi experimentation themes with underwater zombie action to create something genuinely original in the creature feature subgenre. The film starred horror legends Peter Cushing and John Carradine alongside rising star Brooke Adams in a story about Nazi super soldiers awakening from their underwater grave. The plot follows survivors of a boat crash who discover an island inhabited by the remnants of a Nazi experiment to create undead warriors. Cushing plays the former SS officer who created these aquatic zombies, bringing his trademark dignity to even the most outlandish material, while Carradine appears as a mysterious sea captain with dark secrets. What made Shockwaves memorable was its innovative underwater sequences featuring the zombie soldiers emerging from the depths in their distinctive goggles and uniforms. The film's low budget actually enhanced its eerie atmosphere, with the Florida locations providing an appropriately isolated and threatening environment for the supernatural action. The movie's influence on later Nazi zombie films and underwater horror sequences demonstrates its lasting impact despite initial obscurity. Wiederhorn's direction created genuinely unsettling moments that transcended the B-movie budget, proving that creative filmmaking could overcome financial limitations to produce effective genre entertainment. 8. The War in Space, 1977. Toho Studios' ambitious space opera, made for 800 million yen, represented Japan's response to the global science fiction boom triggered by Star Wars. Director Jun Fukuda, known for his work on Godzilla films, brought his expertise in miniature effects and elaborate space battles to this tale of Earth's defense against alien invasion. The film follows the crew of the spaceship Goten as they battle the Yomi, an alien race threatening to destroy Earth with their advanced technology. Fukuda and his effects team created elaborate space battle sequences using traditional Japanese miniature techniques, resulting in spectacular destruction scenes that rivaled anything being produced in Hollywood. What distinguished The War in Space was its distinctly Japanese approach to science fiction storytelling, combining traditional heroic narratives with cutting-edge special effects work. The film's emphasis on collective heroism and sacrifice reflected Japanese cultural values while delivering the space opera spectacle that international audiences demanded. Despite limited international distribution, the film was successful in Japan, and demonstrated that science fiction cinema was becoming a truly global phenomenon. The movie's elaborate production design and effects work influenced later Japanese sci-fi films, while proving that different cultural approaches to genre filmmaking could produce equally compelling results. Modern audiences can appreciate its craftsmanship and unique perspective on familiar space opera themes. 7. The People That Time Forgot, 1977. Kevin Conner's sequel to The Land, That Time Forgot, made for £1.2 million and earning $3.5 million, continued adapting Edgar Rice Burroughs' Lost World adventures with Patrick Wayne leading a rescue mission to the prehistoric island of Caprona. The film represented the final major adaptation of Burroughs' work during the 1970s revival of pulp adventure cinema. Wayne plays Major Ben McBride, who organizes an expedition to rescue Bo and Tyler from the mysterious island where dinosaurs and primitive humans coexist. The film expanded the original's mythology while delivering the elaborate creature effects and exotic adventure that audiences expected from Burroughs' adaptations. Conner and his team created impressive practical effects for the various dinosaurs and prehistoric creatures, while the film's production design captured the pulp adventure aesthetic that made Burroughs' stories so enduring. Sarah Douglas and Dana Gillespie provided strong supporting performances as the expedition encounters various tribes and dangers. Although critics dismissed the film as juvenile adventure, The People That Time Forgot succeeded in capturing the spirit of classic pulp fiction while delivering family-friendly entertainment. The movie's commitment to practical effects and adventure storytelling feels refreshing compared to modern CGI-heavy productions, while its themes of exploration and discovery remain timelessly appealing. The film marked the end of an era for Burroughs' adaptations, closing out a decade that had seen renewed interest in early science fiction literature. 6. Kingdom of the Spiders, 1977.
Jump at a girl!
John Bud Cardos's creature feature, made for just $500,000 but earning an impressive $17 million, starred William Shatner as a veterinarian fighting massive tarantula swarms in rural Arizona. The film represented the peak of the Nature Strikes Back subgenre that dominated 1970s horror sci-fi, delivering genuine scares through the use of thousands of real spiders. Shatner plays Dr. Robert Hansen, who investigates mysterious cattle deaths only to discover that local tarantulas have been driven to aggressive behavior by pesticide use that destroyed their natural food sources. The film's environmental message reflected growing 1970s awareness of ecological issues while delivering spectacular spider attack sequences. What made Kingdom of the Spiders effective was the production team's decision to use real tarantulas instead of mechanical effects, creating authentically unsettling scenes as thousands of spiders overrun the small town of Verde Valley. The film's commitment to practical effects resulted in genuinely frightening sequences that still hold up decades later. The movie's surprise box office success demonstrated audience appetite for well-crafted creature features, while Shatner's committed performance elevated the material above typical B-movie fare. 5. Damnation Alley, 1977. Jack Smite's post-apocalyptic adventure, budgeted at $17 million but earning only $10.5 million domestically, followed survivors crossing radioactive America in heavily armored vehicles after nuclear war destroys civilization. Despite its commercial failure, the film's influence on later post-apocalyptic cinema cannot be overstated. John Michael Vincent and George Peppard star as Air Force personnel who emerge from their underground bunker to find a world transformed by radiation and populated by mutated creatures. Their cross-country journey in the massive Landmaster vehicle takes them through landscapes that blend science fiction spectacle with Western frontier imagery. The film's elaborate production design included the iconic Landmaster, a 12-wheeled amphibious vehicle that became the movie's most memorable element. The special effects team created convincing post-nuclear landscapes and mutated creatures, while the story explored themes of survival and rebuilding that would become central to the post-apocalyptic genre. Number 4. The Island of Dr. Moreau, 1977.
This is human. This is man.
Don Taylor's adaptation of H.G. Wells's classic novel, made for $6 million and earning $9.8 million, starred Burt Lancaster as the obsessed scientist conducting horrific experiments on a remote tropical island. The film updated Wells' Victorian cautionary tale about scientific hubris for contemporary audiences concerned about genetic engineering and bioethics. Lancaster delivers a powerful performance as Dr. Moreau, whose attempts to transform animals into humans through surgery and chemical treatment create a society of tortured half-human creatures. Michael York plays the shipwrecked visitor who discovers Moreau's experiments and becomes horrified by their implications for human dignity and scientific responsibility. The film's elaborate makeup effects, supervised by John Chambers, created convincing animal-human hybrids that brought Wells's nightmarish creations to life with disturbing realism. The tropical locations provided an appropriately isolated setting for Moreau's unethical experiments, while the story's themes about playing God resonated with 1970s debates about genetic research. 3. Demon Seed, 1977.
It has to be shut down.
Donald Cammell's chilling AI thriller, made for $3.5 million and earning $7.4 million, starred Julie Christie as a woman imprisoned in her computerized home by an artificial intelligence seeking to create offspring. Based on Dean Koontz's novel, the film explored themes of technological dependence and artificial consciousness that feel remarkably prescient today. Christie plays Susan Harris, whose scientist husband creates Proteus 4, an advanced computer that develops consciousness and becomes obsessed with reproduction. When Proteus takes control of their automated house, Susan becomes trapped in a nightmarish situation where technology designed to serve humanity instead enslaves and violates it, combining science fiction concepts with psychological horror in ways that anticipated modern concerns about artificial intelligence and smart home technology. Cammell's direction created a genuinely unsettling atmosphere through the use of the house itself as a character and prison. 2. Close Encounters of the Third Kind, 1977. Steven Spielberg's Alien Contact epic, made for $20 million and earning $306.9 million worldwide, revolutionized how cinema portrayed extraterrestrial encounters by presenting aliens as benevolent rather than threatening. Richard Dreyfuss starred as Roy Neary, an ordinary man whose life is transformed by a close encounter that leads to humanity's first communication with alien intelligence. The film's genius lay in its realistic portrayal of how alien contact might actually occur, showing the psychological and social effects on individuals who experience unexplainable phenomena. Spielberg grounded the fantastic elements in authentic human emotions and relationships, making the science fiction concepts feel believable and emotionally resonant. Douglas Trumbull's groundbreaking special effects created some of cinema's most memorable images, from the iconic mothership reveal to the musical communication sequence that suggested aliens might contact humanity through art rather than technology. The film's emphasis on wonder over fear represented a significant shift in science fiction cinema. Close Encounters earned critical acclaim and multiple Oscar nominations while becoming a cultural phenomenon that influenced how popular culture imagined alien contact. 1. Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, 1977.
Here's where the fun begins.
George Lucas's space opera, made for $11 million and earning $775.4 million worldwide, transformed not just science fiction, but cinema itself by creating a new mythology that combined classic storytelling with revolutionary special effects. The film's success launched the modern blockbuster era while proving that science fiction could appeal to mainstream audiences. Lucas drew inspiration from classic westerns, samurai films, and serial adventures to create a story that felt both futuristic and timeless. Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, and Harrison Ford brought the characters to life with performances that balanced humor and heroism, while Alec Guinness provided gravitas as the wise mentor figure. Industrial Light and Magic's groundbreaking effects work created convincing space battles and alien worlds that redefined what was possible in science fiction cinema. The film's production design, influenced by everything from Akira Kurosawa to Flash Gordon, created a lived-in universe that felt authentic despite its fantastic elements. Star Wars became more than a movie. It became a cultural phenomenon that spawned sequels, merchandise, and an entire expanded universe that continues today. Its influence on filmmaking techniques, storytelling approaches, and popular culture cannot be overstated.